Приветствую, братья и сестры, шаббат шалом, это Евангелие в последнее время, и с вами Игорь. Я буквально час назад прилетел в город Гринвилл, это штат Южная Каролина, но будем ехать в район Спартенбург, так как завтра у нас евангелизация, правда, тоже в Гринвилле будем возвращаться сюда, но это, в принципе, все рядом. И когда вы посмотрите это видео, я сейчас просто объясню, потому что мы приложим одно видео к этому эфиру. Я еще блокирован. YouTube меня заблокировали. Из-за одного из последних видео по конференции в Давосе, когда они, враги Божии, начали говорить о новой болезни, которая обязательно придет. Я получил страйк. Завтра этот страйк должен уйти, но я сказал, что это видео я сегодня записываю этот эфир и приложу к нему одно видео, которое посчитал, что оно очень интересное. Если они меня заблокируют, братья и сестры, если я просто не выйду, значит, либо меня заблокировали, либо я очень заболел, либо меня уже нет в живых. В любом случае, посмотрим, как оно дальше будет. И что YouTube будет делать, но, в принципе, это уже никакого сюрприза не представляет, понимая, что свободы слова нет, да и не было, в принципе. Хотя уровень, скажем, что можно говорить, что нельзя говорить, в каждой стране отличается. Вот такие дела. Посмотрите это видео. Это видео о новом фильме, который скоро выйдет в Америке, о гражданской войне. И что интересно, мы и много лет назад говорили о том, что мы понимаем, что вполне возможно это будет. Это лично мое мнение, я высказывал его, потому что я продолжаю считать, что Америка есть Вавилон, но этот Вавилон, как блудница, которая постарела и уже не удовлетворяет новые порядки, новых людей, они ее разрушат, просто ее разрушат, она уже не нужна. Поэтому ее нужно разрушать, так как пока Америка будет жива, ни о каком новом порядке речи идти быть не может. Это тоже мы должны понимать. Поэтому они ее просто разрушат. И гражданская война как возможность просто не то, что разрушить ее через гражданскую войну. Я думаю, что Вавилон разрушит как минимум Россию и Китай. Но падение начнется с этого конфликта. В любом случае, если даже не гражданская война, здесь будут самые сильные потрясения, которые ударят по экономике всего мира. Я думаю, что и политические изменения будут. Пока мы здесь живем, что ж, посмотрим дальше. Но не хочу никого пугать, как некоторые пугаются. А кто пугается, братья и сестры? Даже если вы смотрите, те, которые пугаетесь, потом мне говорите, что я кого-то пугаю. Прощите себя. Да, вы уже решили здесь навсегда остаться, правда? Но не то, что эту короткую жизнь. Вы уже решили, что никогда не умрете, никогда не заболеете, никогда не постареете. Забыв, что все мы странники-пришельцы на этой земле, даже неверующие, можно сказать, но разница огромная. Потому что тот, кто верит в Иисуса Христа, имеет надежду, а кто нет, не имеет. Так вот, те, которые думают, что здесь обосновались навсегда, может быть, вы и никогда с Иисусом не встречались, вот это мой вопрос. Хорошо, друзья. Прошу молиться за нас, за семью, за служение. Очень много проблем серьезных, очень серьезных. Просто прошу Бога милости, чтобы я мог вздохнуть немножко, как человек, и продолжить делать то, к чему призвал меня Господь. Но если Он призвал, я верю, Господь позволит. Конечно, хотелось бы, в принципе, как человек, чтобы проблема была разрешена, чтобы не проходили через то, что, в принципе, может быть. В общем, вот так. На все воля Божия, конечно. Но за все слава только Богу. Это видео с субтитрами. Я думаю, что проблем не будет понять, хотя есть некоторые ошибки. Но вы, думаю, сами поймете, как и то, что кто-то под моим именем просит деньги. Я говорю о том, что, зная меня даже короткое время, многие знают большое время, уже поняли мою позицию библейскую, теологическую позицию, и никакие видения, этого ничего у нас нет. Хорошо? Но даже если кто подстроится под того, кто не видит видения, вы же прекрасно понимаете, да, мы тоже просим о помощи, она нам нужна, и финансовая тоже помощь нужна очень. Но так как они просят, вы понимаете, это спам, это люди, которые, я не знаю, потеряли совесть, я не знаю что. Может, это кто-то из-за границы делает, может, кто-то, кто разрушит наш канал. Я просто знаю о том, что очень много врагов у нас, даже те, которые называют себя христианами, которые даже, может быть, даже думают в некоторой степени, как и мы, но используют любой момент для того, чтобы пожаловаться YouTube, чтобы нам было плохо, чтобы нас закрыли. Да, но Бог им судья в свое время, и они получат воздаяние. Поэтому есть некоторые ошибки в субтитрах на русском языке, но думаю, что суть вы поймете. Я посчитал очень важным. Это очень важное видео, потому что как Израиль является стрелками часов истории Бога, так и то, что происходит в Америке, тоже стрелки в плане понимания, насколько близко мы подошли к последней седьмине. И я верю, что последняя седьмина наступит тогда, когда Америка падет, и я также верю, когда Россия получит поражение. Но именно Антихрист выступит против России. Но так Бог сделает. Но в любом случае будем наблюдать, это лишь мое мнение, примите это как библейский урок, и вообще все наши видео как библейский урок. Мы любим рассуждать, как мы рассуждаем на наших библейских уроках. У каждого свое мнение, бывает ошибочное. Но самое главное, я верю, что не ошибочно то, что Иисус Господь и Бог, единственный путь спасения. И это естественно, это самое главное. Поэтому не обижайтесь на меня, если я ошибаюсь. Благослови вас Бог, и шалом и браха, и слава только Богу. Аминь. Давайте посмотрим это видео.
Child, I knew that the stars could only get brighter, and we would get closer, get closer. As a child, I knew that the stars could only get brighter, that we could get closer, leaving this darkness behind. Now that I'm older, the stars shed light upon my face. When I find myself alone, find myself alone. Now that I'm older, the stars shed light upon my face. When I find myself alone, I feel like I'm blind.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California with a little girl raised by two moms.
U.S. Navy is approaching a drag queen influencer to help persuade new recruits into joining the military. Yeoman Second Class Joshua Kelly, who goes by Harpy Daniels, announced back in November that he was the Navy's new digital ambassador.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens? We're moving to D.C. today.
You need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death. Bloody.
Every time I survived the war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Move, move, move!
We're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America.
Hey guys, which recently came out. This was produced by the Obamas, and it's all about the end of the world, specifically here in America, what's going to happen. During Obama's presidency, he removed a law that prevented the government from using propaganda on the American citizens. It's really interesting to see the repercussions of that decision. We're definitely seeing it in America now, because if you haven't noticed, we're getting hit on every side right now. This is a major psyop taking place on top of the event 201, of course, which started all of this. But all of this madness that we've seen over the last few years is leading us up to this point. They are going to destroy everything. All of this will lead to a one-world government. Of course, we see the beginnings of all this, a one-world religion and a one-world monetary system. Since I made my video, I've noticed that a lot of other people are starting to cover this, and I'm really glad they are. They should be. This is a very important piece of predictive programming. This is one of the biggest pieces of predictive programming I've seen in a long time. And it's all satanic. This is satanic programming from the devil himself. Let me show you something that's hidden right here on this sign. Take a look at this right here. You'll see Baal. Now, that's not by accident. If you look over on the left side, you can actually make out I am as well. So you got I am Baal. Baal is the devil, just another name for him. Of course, you know, we have the arches of Baal all around the world, in some of the biggest cities all around the world. And this is just a marker, a reminder of where you are. You know, we are in the beast system. The arches of Baal is what they used to walk through.
Он не про мяч говорит, он говорит про
The sexcapades,
Ваала.
and they would sacrifice their children.
Просто letters.
But of course, we still see those symbols all around us to this day.
Я услышал так перевод. Но он говорил про вал, там слово вал.
As I mentioned, I'm not the only person exploring this film and all the symbolism within. There's tons. And I showed some of this in my last video. Of course, they have to have the all-seeing eyes in there. I've been doing this for so long, I'll notice confirmations. There'll be more than one symbol in a movie or a TV show or a commercial. And so I'll just start thinking in my head, okay, where's the pentagram? Where's the all-seeing eye? Sometimes there's an upside-down cross. And it goes on and on and on. And we know, we're looking for these Illuminati, Freemason symbols in everything around us because it's been magnified in these days. In Leave the World Behind, of course, you do have the all-seeing eyes. I also noticed something else. I did a video a while back called X Marks the Beast System, or the Final Beast System, and showing you that X is a very common symbol in this beast system as well. We see it all over the place. And of course, we find it in this movie as well. They have their X symbolism in this movie. And then the children in the movie, they have the boy wearing an Obey shirt, and then the little girl wearing NASA, Obey NASA. So that's just a little bit, but once again, you can find other people's breakdowns of this, and I'm sure they'll be finding other things as well.
Obey это послушание.
In my videos, I've talked about the end of the fourth age, which is what we're in, and then moving into the fifth age, which is the age of Antichrist. It's been called the age of Aquarius. It'll be the shortest age of all, 7 years. And we're right on the verge of that. And this film actually exemplifies this idea. At the end of Leave the World Behind, each main character comes to realize that the, quote, old world is never coming back. And that's even the tagline, the old world is never coming back, or normal is never returning, something to that effect. But that's really where we're at. The Antichrist is about to play his role, and we're about to move into that final 7 years, that Aquarian final beast system, the fifth age. But one of the most interesting things for me in the movie, especially since it's so closely associated with Obama, was right here. It says maybe it was a barricade of self-driving cars creating a barricade of the main road. Maybe it was the downed planes, or the vista of New York being bombed. Yes, there's a very, very short sequence. I couldn't even find it again. But there's a very short sequence where you see the vista. You see New York City, and you can see where there have been some nukes going off. You can see the clouds and everything. If you followed my work for any amount of time, then you know that I'm waiting on New York to be hit. And I'm not the only one. There's many of us that see this. People have had dreams and visions of this for many years. There's all kinds of predictive programming about this happening. You can even find it on St. John's Pillars in New York City. They have a whole prophetic message there showing the end of New York City and the beginning of the Antichrist regime. And of course, Jonathan Kleck, we know, has also shown us through the money that on the $100 bill and I believe the $10 bill, you can see the nuke. It actually shows you the nuke coming out of the water and hitting in New York, and you can see New York City being flooded by a massive tsunami. So it's interesting that Obama's connected to this movie, and we made sure we had New York getting, because you might remember this.
Russia's actions are a problem. They don't pose the number one national security threat to the United States. I continue to be much more concerned when it comes to our security with the prospect of a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan.
And so all of the power of an image in public began to fascinate me, and I wanted to take it as far as I could. And I started to read up about things like Heidegger's theory on phenomenology, and the situationists. This idea that people become lazy and sort of begin to just follow the path of least resistance and sleepwalk through life.
Shepard Fairey is the name of the artist that made the Obey posters, the Obey logo. I'm sure you've seen it. Same thing that the young man was wearing on his t-shirt in Leave the World Behind. But Shepard Fairey also created the Hope poster for Obama back when he was running. You may remember this. And I showed you guys something in this poster long ago, and I'll show you here once again. Look at what happens when I flip the image. Some of you may not know about this, but it's very common, especially nowadays. If you want to understand the deception you're in and and the darkness, the deceit. Oftentimes you need to flip these images. You need to rely on your Holy Spirit to see the layers. There's layers in everything here. And you can see this right here, but if you look close on his face, I'll magnify it a little bit, but that's a demonic creature. It has its little horn right there on its head. See? And that's right there on Obama's face. But most people wouldn't know it, or they'd think, that's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. But once again, those of us that have eyes to see and ears to hear, if you will, in these days, we understand it's a very common practice in this beast system. Now, something just happened a few days ago that just really blew me away, and it's associated with Obama once again, and I can't help but see this stuff. But you've probably seen this scene right here. I actually put this in the scariest movie ever, 2020. I may have put it in the first one back in 2009 also. It's very, very important. This was, from my perspective, this is when I first started to realize many years ago, when I started really looking into this, that they do rituals in public, sometimes with cameras rolling right in front of the people all the time. This was a classic example. The whole thing was a ritual for 9-1-1. Has to do with the beast of the bottomless pit, Apollyon. So Bush goes into this classroom and he reads a story to children. This happened to be the very same day that he finds out about the attacks right there. Okay, this is the setup. They say, oh, he just found out about 9/11, but he's in a classroom with children reading stories. Well, guess what Obama did just a few days ago? It reenacted something very, very similar to this. So we're going to take a look at that. But what's the implication here? It's all connected, man, and the next 9+1/1 is about to happen. They're going to hit New York, and I'm sure other spots throughout America. And take a look at this right here.
Recent version of what happens in Senate. Alright? So, alright, you guys ready? Okay. So last Christmas, the Macs, these are the Macs, the 4550 Wellington Lane, saw a story on TV about Santa Claus spending some quality time with a family in Boston, sipping hot cocoa and playing video games. That sounds nice. It does. Santa lifted his hands to his heavens and he yelled out in frustration, "Figgy pudding," which I guess is how Santa curses. There are places and moments in America where this nation's destiny has been decided. This nation's destiny has been decided. Yes, we can. 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 Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I was drifting back in outer space. There was nothing left. There was nothing.
There are places and moments.
Это реальное событие в Дисней-парке. Обама когда говорил «Yes, we can», если перевернуть, то это благодарение дьяволу, сатану. По-английски звучит, с обратной стороны.
And of course, right on time, as we see America crumbling from within, here comes more predictive programming with the movie Civil War. I showed you that trailer in the very beginning. And it's interesting that the poster, of course, is showing us Lucifer's light. That's what that is. That's what the Statue of Liberty is holding. You've seen this represented in the Olympic Games as well, and many other places. I'll show you another here in just a moment. So they're kicking in the programming heavy now, as you can see. They want us all divided. This is where all the racist stuff has come up over the last few years, and it's non-stop. And we see it everywhere, every aspect of our society here in America. And that's because we're being pulled apart, being divided and put into different camps, if you will, though it be in our minds. But we're finding our neighbors, or once our neighbors, are enemies now because of the differences. But that's what this system is trying to do to us. Again, if you do not have Jesus Christ in these days, I have no idea how you're making it day to day. You really need him. It's very serious. It's not about church or religion. Just make sure you have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Accept him as your personal Lord and Savior, because this is all coming down really, really fast. And here's that statue I was talking about. It's in Rockefeller Center, of course, of all places. One of the Illuminati bloodlines has this out there. But I covered it long ago, and as you see, I see it as a representation of Obama, and you can see it holding Lucifer's flame once again. And all this brings to the forefront the blatant Satanism and wickedness that we're seeing in our culture now, and it's everywhere, right out in the open. I always say to keep an eye on the children, see what they're doing with the little ones, and we know that the children are under attack. They're even being farmed for their blood. We know this, okay? We know this. Unfortunately, in this beast system, the innocence and purity of children is a prized possession to these monsters.
Hey, don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to me that way. I don't ever want to hear you say anything. Cause you've been night-timing, baby. Starting to show. Yes, you've been night-timing, baby. It's out of control. Yeah, you've been night-timing, baby. And you ought to get home. Yeah, you've been night-timing, baby. Hey, you look different, how do I explain? This whole evening just felt so strange. I guess things have changed. Alright, cause you've been night-timing, brother. It's starting to show. You got your pleasures all around you, put them all in a row. Yeah, you've been night-timing, brother, and you know how it goes. You've been night-timing, brother.
Это то, что происходит и в начальных школах, классах, обучение сатанизму даже. Видим ужас, что происходит в Америке. Но не только здесь. Колдовство, пропаганда демоническая и особенно сексуальная, трансгендерная. И очень большой фокус на детей, уничтожение детей.
You can expect to find a lot more programming over the next year, if we have that long, concerning the end of America and concerning the end of the world. Here's another example. There's a new series coming out here real soon. It's called Fallout. Of course, it's after, the nukes hit in America. And pay special attention to their placement of the 33. Of course, they have to have their 33. When I see that, I know there's an agenda behind this, quote, entertainment. They're going to try to imprint me with something. So check this out.
I know that I've lived a relatively comfortable life.
Stop! Lucy!
Вы видите число, видели 33. Это высшая степень масонства. Знаки, символы везде. Так они и переговариваются, и программируют.
If you insist on staying, then you will have to adapt.
Uh-huh.
Да, братья и сестры, Америка есть Вавилон, и он падет. В свое время, я думаю, что скорое.
Tomorrow, so they say, will be a lovely day. A bright new sun will suddenly break through.
Им нужно падение Америки, иначе не может быть нового мирового порядка. Это полностью изменение системы и экономической, и политической. Ай. Поэтому все эти войны, разрушения, но Бог все контролирует. И вот это должно нам дать или сохранить, правильно сохранить мир, который мы имеем в новых сердцах от Господа. Настоящий шалом и шаббат, покой во Христе Господе нашем.
And here's another example that America is finished, as it once was. This is the new Christmas video from the White House. And the first thing I thought when I saw this, it really pulled me back a bit, is it's very childish. Look at the animation here, kind of the animated candy canes, the way they're acting. This is like something for a child, and they call it inner child, is what the White House says. This is all about your inner child, but it's madness. This is ridiculous. And it reminds me of the Hunger Games also.
Пропаганда голубизны везде. Я сказал, цель дети.
Propaganda, really. It's its own form of predictive programming. And it shows that, those in charge in the future, at least in the Hunger Games, the women are extremely feminized, even to the point of being cartoonish, and so are the men. The men are all very feminized as well. So I see this, it reminds me of Hunger Games. You may remember Lady Gaga throughout some of this predictive programming for the Hunger Games. You may remember that.
Это Леди Гага, сатанистка.
But just take a look at this. Over the fireplace, they have a massive pyramid. I guess that's supposed to be the tree. You'll see that here in just a second. And then there's a bunch of other smaller pyramids next to it. But there's a little quick glance of it right there on the fireplace. Got to have their pyramids, of course. Where's the all-seeing eye? Where's the Baphomet? Not seeing a lot of that, but saw the pyramid there. But once again, man, this is just a complete and total lunacy. As far as I'm concerned, it's a circus, it's a carnival. And it reminds me of even the symbolism of the unicorn, the captured mind, living in La La Land. It's all connected to this system. Well, my friends, that's about what I wanted to show you in this video. And as always, I hope that they help you. We really are on the verge of total destruction as far as this world is concerned. But there's hope. There is hope in Jesus Christ. It's the only hope you'll have. It's the only way back home.
Только Иисус наша надежда.
No one's going to come and save you, no man or woman.
если Бог сохранит нам жизнь. Только во Христе мы справимся. Я понимаю, что это видео может шокировать многих, но я посчитал нужным его выставить. После того, как меня заблокировали, могут заблокировать еще раз. Но ничего. Они не остановят проповедь Евангелия, пока еще благодать продолжается. Слава только Богу. Аминь.
So hang in there. I know times are crazy, but glory awaits. It really does. We're so close. Lean into your relationship with Jesus Christ in these days. It's really the only thing that makes any sense and the only thing that matters anymore. So thank you once again for checking out the video. There's one more thing I want to show you here at the very end, one final clip. It just showed up online over the last few days. Understanding the times we're in, many people talk about the giants returning, the Nephilim giants will be seen again. Well, very interesting video just came out of Tibet, of all places. Tibet, of course, filled with their false
это немножко другая уже тема, я не хочу ее касаться. Но посмотрите то, что и в этом видео показали, из Тибета. Очень сильная пропаганда, и мы говорили, продолжается НЛО, так называемые инопланетяне. Может, что-то в этом есть, но понятно, НЛО — это демоны, мы это знаем. Вот это видео из Тибета, посмотрите, этот великан. Сейчас вы увидите. Вот там на горе. Это реальное видео, братья и сестры. Это не фейк, это реальное видео. Видите? Это не фейк, еще раз повторяю. Ждет что-то интересное. Последний этап истории, но Бог все держит под контролем. И вселенная тверда. Слава только Богу. Аминь. Благословение народу Божьему. Шалом, браха.